Engine, I'm squirting that oil down on the floor till my speakers start to boil. I flip shit, quick slip, hip dip, and I'm twisted. With your hands and your lips and your tongue tricks, and you're so thick, and you're so big, and you're so crown royal on ice, crown royal on ice. Oh, hold on a second. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. How are you today? In all my falsetto. Oh, so before I dive in to this, and this is really important. Good morning. Am I recording? Okay. You know, I was sitting in meditation this morning, and my body would not relax. It would not relax. And I could feel the tension in my head, and so I'm doing all my practices, all the everything, and still I know what the state feels like when I'm in it, and I'm in that space, and it wasn't doing it this morning. I went out. I was like, no, I knew I wasn't complete. Like, I also know when my body's complete with meditation. So I tried it again and it still didn't work. And I was like, yeah, I need to move. I share this with you because I want you to understand the importance of knowing yourself, of not just doing things because people say, this is what you need to do. You need to meditate. Yes, you do need to meditate. Meditation is about bringing awareness to yourself. And if you're not in the space yet where you can sit still, because I do believe that there's a humongous amount of value in sitting still for meditation and just being still. But if you're not there yet, you will cause more damage if you try to make yourself sit still, which is the very opposite of meditation. It's about allowing, not forcing. And do something else that still has you an awareness in your body. So I danced. I had to dance and move my body. I think everyone is sensual in different ways. I am a very sensual person. Very sensual person. And I have to move my body. And I sometimes forget that because I'm working, I'm sitting in front of this, I'm walking, I'm walking from place to place. I forgot that I had to move. My body needed to do all the slinky things, and it needed to get into frog pose, and it needed to twerk, and it needed to do like these, as much of a back bend as my body will let it do. It needed to do these things. And then I felt really grounded. Then I felt like, there you are. There you are. So I just wanted to say that find your practice. Yeah, feel into you. Find your practice. Okay, so the importance of vulnerable conversation. And this is a little bit of a parenting story, but this applies to everything. When we were driving back from Buffalo, one of my sons and I were just sitting in the front seat, and we're having we were passing by mobile homes, and I know that he's just now finding his way into rap music, and one of the people that he likes is Eminem. The reason why he likes Eminem is because Eminem doesn't use the N-word. He doesn't like hearing that word in rap songs. And so he's looking for artists who are really good lyricists. And I know that there are tons out there. So he likes a variety. But right now, Eminem happens to be the one that he gravitates towards the most. And I point out these mobile homes. And I'm like, I think Eminem grew up in homes similar to those. And he was like, yeah. I know. And so his tone was kind of made me feel away, right? Because it was really dismissive, like lady, you're getting on my nerves type of thing. And so we got into this, it wasn't even an argument, but we got, you know, I let him know that tone did like it, that it bothered me, you know. And when the conversation finished, it's like I said something, I wish I remembered. I said something, he said something, I said something. And then when it was finished, my body did not feel good. It didn't feel good. I didn't, whatever it was that I said, I felt like I belittled him, and I didn't like that, right? Because I was annoyed. You know, it's a very mom moment. He's 17. And so we both sat in silence for a minute. Like I could feel him, you know, I feel me. And after about 2 minutes, I said, I don't like how that ended. I don't like what I said. You know, I apologize. It just, I told him, I said, it doesn't feel good in my body how that happened. And he was like, no, it doesn't feel good to me either. You know, I'm sorry for the way I said what I said. And then he went on to explain to me that when I point things out to him that he already knows, it makes him feel like he doesn't know something, or like he's stupid, or you know, something like that. Now I didn't know, because I told him, I said, well, because we were talking about the movie 8 Mile. I said, I didn't know that you'd seen the movie, so I didn't know that you knew that, because this kid will just go off and watch stuff. I don't have a clue, you know, and it's got his own devices. So I said, well, would it be helpful if I have information, if I ask you, you know, hey, did you know about this? And he said, yeah, that would be good. And so there you have it. It seems like a lot, doesn't it? Now, in a very typical parenting scenario, you know, I point out something thinking I'm all well meaning, feeling like I'm showing my kid something, I'm giving him some information. Kid already knows information and is just like, what the hell, man? Yeah, I know this already. Parent is like, you know, what's wrong with you? Why is your attitude that way? And kid is like, nah, I just didn't need to hear all that. And it's like, well, you don't talk to me like that. Like, I don't even speak to my sons that way, but right. And so, you know, and that's the end of that. Now both people are kind of stewing, and that's it. Can you imagine now? Can you see how when people grow up and they're adults, they have no fucking clue how to communicate with someone else? Like, if and I was like, I'm a mild I'm a mild parent. Like, it was just like you know, I really don't like that tone. It just feels really dismissive. You know, that's the type of thing I say, right? But even still, if I had left it like that, and I could have, I mean, right? You know, we do it. I've done it. If I had left it like that, what did I learn about how to communicate, and what did I teach him? This is two things. How we parent our children is that shows them, and how we communicate with them lays the groundwork for how they communicate with other people. How you were raised help lay the groundwork for how you communicate with other people, not just at work, but in your relationships. And one of the biggest issues that people have is communication. My my lover and I were having a conversation, and we were talking about, where we're both in a space where we're looking for low maintenance relationships, right? We're not looking for high maintenance. My schedule is just too whacked out for me to be like enmeshed in someone's life right now, and he's finding him, beautiful freedom in what he's doing, and doesn't really want that we get along beautifully. And so we were talking about that, and he was talking about maintenance. And so I asked him, what does maintenance mean to you? Because I know what it means to me, and we think that because we speak the same language, that our words mean the same thing, and they don't. And we don't take the time to learn the other person's language. My daughter is doing this with her boyfriend now, because because they live together, and they are finding their, and I told her, I said, over time you'll find your language together. Like you'll create your language, but in the meantime you're gonna have to ask each other, you said that, what does that mean? Because it means something different to me. Vulnerable communication is so important. Asking someone, what does this mean? Would it work for you if I did X, Y, and Z? It's important for us to be open to that. This is how we begin to forge deep, true connection. I didn't know that my son felt, and there's no judgment, right? Like the other part could be that somebody says, well, why does he feel that way? I don't know. I don't care. Why do you want someone questioning why you feel how you feel? Do you want someone saying to you, well, you shouldn't feel that way. Why does it matter? It does. It does. And if you choose to be in any relationship with anyone, parent, child, your uncle, cousin, romantic, coworker, if you make a choice to be in a relationship with anyone, then it's important that you take how they feel into consideration. So I didn't know my son felt that way, but now I do. And each of my children are different, which requires different styles of communication for each one of them. That can be the rough part about parenting when you have multiple children. I mean, I can gather them all in a room and we can have and say something and they'll all get it. But for the one-on-ones, each one of my 5 require a different way of speaking, which may have ended up helping me, so I'm kind of glad for that. But do you get what I'm saying? Like, so when you're in a position where you're having an argument and ego is all over it, right? Because you want to be right. Just admit it. Because I like to be right. I love to be right. If you go by all this, the astrology stuff, I'm a Virgo. So of course I like to be right. Virgo sun and Virgo rising. I gotta be right. And then I'm like, of course I'm right. And I've had to work on that. So your ego wants, you do. But what does it take for you to say, to pause in the middle, literally in the middle of the argument? You know what? This doesn't feel good to me. Because I love you and this communication doesn't feel good to me. Can we both just take a deep breath together? Can we hold hands? Just take a deep breath together and let's start from the beginning. And see what happens. And ask questions. We all want to get our point across so badly. We just want to get our point across. We want to hammer it home. We want to show why, like we want to lay out our case. But we don't want to listen. Or we want to ask questions to get information and go, okay, so here's why all that's wrong. Just listen. Treat your relationships like you're talking to a stranger on a park bench. If you went to a park and someone sat down next to you and they were just looking like, and you happen to be one of those people who's like, is all okay? And they're like, nah, I was having a rough day. I would hope that you're not gonna be, what you should do, some of y'all might though, right? What you should do is, and you come out with X, Y, and Z, treat it like a stranger. You're just going to ask them questions. What happened? Wow, that sounds rough. Wow, yeah? Just listen. Because your ego's not invested in that, right? And so understand the difference. When your ego is invested, then you got to be right. Argument has to continue. Somebody's got to win. I could have sat in that car with my son and just let it go. It didn't feel good. Like I felt like it just, It didn't feel good, which is also why it is so important for you to be in alignment with who you are, with your soul, because you'll begin to feel things. You feel that in your body, the energy. It will stop you from creating an argument. It will stop you because you'll feel it coming, and it'll be like, ooh, you know what? This feels like it's gonna go down the wrong path. Let me run. And then in your head, let me wind this back. But when you're disembodied, when you're not feeling, when you're just all human, you're just all ego, you don't feel any of that. It's an argument for days. Days. Silent treatment. Going to bed angry. But in order to do this, we have to be willing to be vulnerable. I had to be willing to apologize. I know there are a lot of parents who just don't do that. I don't understand why. I see my relationship with my sons as a training ground for their relationships. I am the female role model that they're involved with most. How I treat them and respond to them is going to help inform the types of women that they choose. Who do I want them to bring home? And the same with girls. So why wouldn't I apologize? I want to set him up to be, with a woman who's just like, well, I'm right and you wrong. And we all know how that rolls, because a lot of us women are like that. And that's when we get the dude who goes, never mind, forget it. Oh, forget it. Oh, so you don't want to talk about it now? And he's like, no, just whatever. And we're so annoyed by that. Guaranteed that dude didn't have a mom who was like, you know what, I'm so sorry for what I just said to you. So in order for that conversation to happen, I had to step back and say, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't like the way I said what I said to you. And, I felt this way, that way, open. And then he in turn, right? No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it that way. It's just that when you tell me things, now he's expressing himself. And then we come to a resolution. Well, would this work better for you if I do it this way? And he paused for a minute and it's like, yeah, it would. And we're good. It can actually happen like that. It can. And if you find yourself in a situation with someone who they just refuse to communicate that way, I would ask you, why are you insisting upon being with that person? Like, what is it about you that you feel the need to stay with that? Are you hoping to change that person? Hoping to get them to see the light? Make them better? Fix them? Because that's not a reason to be in a relationship. It's not your job to fix anyone. It's not your job to make anyone better. That's movie talk. That's movie talk. That's not real life. And so if you find yourself attempting to have these vulnerable communications with someone and their response is so ego driven that they cannot stop for 1 second to connect with you, you might have to let that go. Unless you're okay with just feeling that disconnection. They might need to go figure that out on their own. It's not your job to do that for them. It's your job to fix you, if anything. No one needs to be fixed, by the way. All right, so I think that's it. Vulnerability is necessary. It's necessary. If you want to be able to communicate with someone, taking a pause, apologizing, asking questions. What does this mean to you? When you say that, what does it mean? When you say that, this is what I hear. Part of these are the principles of nonviolent communication. There's a whole other array of stuff that goes with that. But part of this is just, when you say this is what I hear. And you'd be surprised because there are times that I've been like, okay, so this is what I hear, and the other person's like, that's not what I was saying at all. And it's like, wow, okay, I just heard two, and we just heard it was two different things going on. So tell me again. And it takes a while. And if it's a romantic relationship or like a friendship, it takes a while for you to get into the rhythm of learning each other's languages. And if you're both willing to learn, have some grace with each other, but continue to ask the questions. And if you're a parent, it's okay to apologize. We're human. Let's show our children what it means to care, what it means to forgive, what it means to have some grace. When we do that, then we begin to shift the world. I keep saying it's not happening up here. It's happening in each family, with each friendship, with each connection. So let's show them through our actions and our growth what it looks like, so when they find themselves in relationships, they have better tools than we had. And let's do it without resentment. Because their path isn't our path. Your path was what it was. Acceptance. All right, that's it. I love you all. I will see you back here tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye.